In the remote mountain villages of Japan, where ancient forests press close against human settlements, there exists a warning passed through generations. Beware beautiful women encountered alone near waterfalls, caves, or abandoned temples, especially those whose fingers move with unusual grace or who carry a biwa, the traditional lute of old Japan. I speak of the JOROGUMO. Her name itself reveals her nature. Joro, meaning binding bride, and gumo, meaning spider. A perfect description of the fate that awaits those who succumb to her deadly allure. Unlike yokai that announce their monstrous nature openly, the JOROGUMO embodies deception in its most artful form, a predator whose hunting method relies on beauty, music, and the eternal human weakness for both. By initial appearance, she presents as the ideal of classical Japanese beauty. A young woman of perhaps 20 years, with flowing black hair cascading like silk to her waist, skin pale as moonlight, and kimono of the finest quality, often crimson or deep violet, adorned with subtle spiderweb patterns visible only in certain light. Her most striking feature delicate hands with unnaturally long, elegant fingers that move with hypnotic precision across the strings of her biwa. It is this music that forms her first lure. Travelers speak of hearing haunting melodies drifting through mountain passes at twilight, compositions of such exquisite melancholy that listeners find themselves drawn forward against all caution, seeking the source. The songs contain no lyrics, yet somehow convey narrative tales of loneliness, of waiting, of desire for companionship that resonate with the weary or lovelorn traveller. Those who follow these sounds inevitably discover her seated alone in some picturesque location, beside a waterfall, within a temple courtyard, or near the entrance to a cave. Her posture is perfect, her smile welcoming yet shy, her playing never ceasing as she beckons the traveller closer with a slight nod. Most damning of all, she appears vulnerable, a woman alone in wilderness, seemingly as relieved to find company as the traveller himself. What makes the JOROGUMO uniquely terrifying is the gradual nature of her transformation. Unlike monsters that attack immediately, she extends her predation over hours or even days. The initial encounter features only conversation and music, her questions drawing out the traveller's life story while revealing little of her own. She offers sake that flows seemingly without end from a single flask, each cup more potent than the last. As night deepens, her music grows more entrancing, her eyes occasionally catching moonlight to reveal a momentary crimson glow, quickly disguised as reflection. Her fingers move with increasing speed across the biwa strings, sometimes appearing to multiply in the dim light. The sake induces a pleasant numbness that makes these uncanny moments easy to dismiss. Only when her victim has completely succumbed to music, alcohol, and her bewitching presence does the JOROGUMO reveal her true nature. The transformation begins subtly, her shadow on stone or tree bark showing 8 limbs rather than 2, thin strands of silk appearing around the victim's wrists or ankles, dismissed as imagination until they suddenly tighten. Her beautiful face remains unchanged even as her lower body expands and transforms into that of a massive golden orb weaver spider, 8 powerful legs emerging from beneath her magnificent kimono. By this point, escape is nearly impossible. The silk, stronger than steel yet thin as gossamer, has been gradually woven around the victim throughout their interaction. The sake contains paralyzing agents derived from spider venom. Even the music itself has induced a trance-like state that prevents panic or resistance. Fully transformed, the JOROGUMO hoists her cocooned prey into the trees or cave ceiling, where previous victims hang in various stages of preservation. The JOROGUMO's origins vary across regional folklore. Some tales claim she begins as an ordinary golden orb weaver spider that, upon reaching 400 years of age, gains magical powers and the ability to transform into a woman. Others suggest she was once human, perhaps a talented biwa player who made dark pacts with mountain spirits after suffering betrayal by a lover. Most disturbing are accounts suggesting she reproduces by laying eggs within her living victims, ensuring her daughters have fresh sustenance when they hatch. Protection against the JOROGUMO centers on awareness and skepticism. Travelers are advised to be wary of any woman encountered alone in remote areas, particularly one who seems too perfectly suited to the traveler's desires. Buddhist sutras carried as talismans can disrupt her illusions momentarily, revealing glimpses of her true form. Surprisingly, direct confrontation sometimes proves effective. Acknowledging her nature aloud can break the carefully constructed spell of normalcy she creates. In modern Japan, as ancient forests give way to development and traditional instruments like the biwa fade from common knowledge, the JOROGUMO has adapted her hunting methods. Contemporary accounts describe encountering beautiful women playing violin or guitar in remote highway rest stops or at rural train platforms during the last departure. The music remains her constant lure, evolving with the times while retaining its hypnotic power. Most disturbing are reports from urban areas, where security cameras occasionally capture footage of elegant women entering apartment buildings with musical instrument cases, but never leaving, while residents report hearing beautiful music shortly before disappearing. Some folklorists suggest the JOROGUMO has found new hunting grounds in the anonymous spaces of modern cities, where loneliness creates vulnerability as surely as isolated mountain paths once did. So tonight, if you find yourself in Japan and hear hauntingly beautiful music from an unexpected source, if you encounter a solitary woman whose fingers move with impossible grace across instrument strings, if the sake she offers seems never to empty, yet fills you with pleasant numbness, remember the JOROGUMO. Politely decline her hospitality. Keep your distance from her delicate hands. And perhaps most importantly, consider why a woman of such extraordinary beauty and talent would be waiting alone for a stranger in this particular place at this particular moment. For in the space between music's emotional power and loneliness's vulnerability, the JOROGUMO has perfected a hunting method that turns human connection itself into the silken threads of her most inescapable web.